At this point in the game, Zane, don't we just have to laugh at MAGA? You know, the hanger-ons, the people who continue to contribute and suggest that the orange bastard is going to save the day. Even though every poll and every metric, everyone seems to be ditching Supreme Leader because he's a con, an ass, a felon, a cheater, a corrupt piece of garbage who lied, stole, and convinced you idiots, truckers, I'm talking to you, that he was here to make America great. Well, where in the hell has that taken us? America is still the shithole country that fat bastard claims every other country to be. More projection, I say. I was dumb as a rock. No, not you drivers, although I'm sure there's many of you who feel the same way. This story from MSN, out of wherever these morons live currently, Georgia, I think. Hopefully they get rounded up and sent off somewhere. I can only hope. After voting for Donald Trump multiple times, longtime Republicans Ron and Chrissy Kelly turned on the president and his MAGA movement when his second administration's policies threatened their livelihood. Now wait right there. Hold on. Nothing that happened to anyone else bothered this couple. Not the killings in Minnesota, not the name calling, not they're eating the dogs, not the ICE raids all across this country, not the families being torn apart, not the fuel, not the grocery prices, not the Iran war, not that he has charges against him, not Epstein, not the felonies, not the scumbag that he is with his lies and grifts. None of that bothered this couple until it affected their livelihood. Let me read that again, Zaid. And please listen to me, everybody. Truckers, come on. Listen to what the couple is saying. After voting for Donald Trump, it reads, multiple times, longtime Republicans Ron and Chrissy Kelly turned on the president and his MAGA movement when his second administration's policies threatened their livelihood. Their livelihood. They didn't care about ours. They didn't care about all the other things that MAGA and Trump were doing to this country until their livelihood was threatened. And truckers, be honest with yourself. Hell, let's say MAGA and whole, let's be honest. Do you see yourself in this? In the story of the Kellys, Ron and Chrissy Kelly, do you see yourself in it? You don't care what happens to anyone else as long as you're okay. That's really, or should I say literally, what you're saying by still siding and touting Trump and MAGA. Because they're quite frankly not a damn thing he is doing that is helping this country. Please help me. Tell me something. And I'll admit it right here on this channel, Crack Bent or Broken, if I'm wrong. But I don't believe I am. The article continues. Last October, Ron, a 55-year-old construction analyst for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, was furloughed for 43 days as the Trump administration took a sledgehammer to federal agencies' budgets under the Department of Government Efficiency, an initiative led by the world's richest man, Elon Musk. You remember Doge? Which disappeared just as fast as it appeared, remember? You notice that? No accountability, no proof of anything that was saved. Just poof, gone, disappeared. Houdini'd. Crazy, huh? It continues. We voted for Trump, not realizing that he was going to slam as hard as he did. It was on day one when he sat down right after the inauguration and started signing those executive orders and just trashed us federal employees. It was a kick in the teeth, Ron said. Boo-hoo, Ron. I got my mini violin. You're a moron. Your wife's a moron. And like I mentioned in previous episodes here on the show, there's no refunds. You got what you asked for. You got what you voted for. You dick. And your piggy wife. Not my words. That's our president's words, by the way. Ron says, that point was the beginning of my turning away from MAGA. Rather than leaving the GOP quietly, the couple from Byron, Georgia, there it is, decided to publicly announce their decision to break with the party and joined a growing community of former Trump supporters called Leaving MAGA. Boo-hoo. I guess we can say better late than never, but you're still trash for ruining this country, and it's ruined. If people would just listen and research and do something just other than listening to Fox News, we may all be better off, the couple says. But it's still going to take an open mind and an ability to say, I made a mistake. Because once you say you made a mistake, you can turn the ship around. Chrissy Kelly, 50, a stay-at-home mom said. Speaking out against MAGA cost the Kellys relationships with friends and family members who support Trump. Still. But in sharing their story, they hope to inspire others having doubts about the GOP. Hopefully. Doubtful, but hopefully. I don't have much more to say about these people. Ron and Chrissy Kelly. The hell with them. I hope they lose everything. I hope he's rounded up and put into a concentration camp. I do. Because they wanted it for other people. They were okay with it for other people. Am I glad they finally woke up? Okay, sure. But it took them being personally affected by it for them to wake up. Never once thinking about anyone else and their struggles. I mean, think about it. You're stripped from your wife or your husband, your children, your family, and you're hauled off to God's nowhere just because you look different or you sound different. And you walk around saying they shouldn't be here. If you think that's a fair or decent or godly or patriotic statement, then you might be a redneck. I mean, Confederate. I mean, MAGA. Like, comment, and subscribe below. Help the channel to grow. Hit the notification bell to be reminded of new content added to the channel. I'm Nick Anthony. Crack, bent, or broken. If you aren't mad, you aren't paying attention.